Folks, it's a great pleasure to have a Washington Husky with us. Brian Garrett, President and CEO of Community Bank of the Bay. Welcome to you, Brian.
Thank you, Timothy. I'm glad to be here.
And also joining us is Susan Purcell, the Community Bank of the Bay's VP of Sales and Marketing. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Well, maybe we could start in on something basic. What is the Community Bank of the Bay?
Community Bank of the Bay is a local bank founded in downtown Oakland to service the needs of the small business community in Oakland.
Okay, and I noticed in your mission statement you also mentioned lower income neighborhoods. Are you providing direct loans to them?
We finance anybody, any business that qualifies for a loan and a repayment. We try and say anything within a 10-mile radius.
Okay, but pretty much it's Oakland focused. Is that
Yes,
a good
that is
assessment?
correct.
Okay, and how did this idea get started?
Well, it started in 1996. I was not here then. I came in 2002, but the bank was started to focus and bring capital and small business loans to the Oakland community.
Okay, so again, really a strong focus in on Oakland. I can see how that sets it apart from other community banks, but what other differentiating factors are there, Brian, to set it apart from other community banks and the larger banks?
Well, it's easier to say differential between us and the larger banks. Most of the well-run community banks focus just that on their local community.
Okay.
The larger banks, such as a Wells or a Bank of America, are headquartered outside California, and they're focused not only isn't it on the Oakland community, it's certainly not on California.
Makes sense.
The biggest differentiating factor is we make all our decisions right here in Oakland. We know the market, we know the community, we drive the same streets, kids go to the same schools, we shop at the same supermarkets. And if there's, a situation, someone can always come in and talk to me, talk to any one of my loan officers. That's not the case at the major banks.
No, I'd agree. It's more of a personal touch is what I think I'm hearing from you, Brian.
Yeah, that's correct. We like to term it as a relationship. We start with a blank canvas and we paint the picture based upon the customer needs. We don't have a product or a program in the bank. If you go to a major bank, they try and fit you into the shoebox and hope it fits. We don't use FICO scores. We try and understand the situation, try and know who the borrower is, and focus on their needs.
Well, it's interesting, but some might say a smaller bank is less stable. What would you think on that?
Well, we all have the same FDIC insurance, whether you're Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Wachovia, or us. So we cover your accounts, and we're all protected up to $100,000. Now, one thing unique is we do have a special program where we can give FDIC depositor up to $40 million.
Wow.
And that's through a program called CDARS, C-D-A-R-S.
Okay, and basically, as I think I understand it, it's various banks pooling their FDIC insurance together, so you could, again, offer up to $40 million.
That's correct.
And so again, the stability is not an issue, and certainly there's extensive scrutiny provided by the FDIC of all banks. Yours would be no exception.
Yeah, the FDIC, and because we're a state chartered, so we also have the state regulators, they come in every year and do a thorough examination. There's anywhere from 15 to 20 of them for 3 weeks.
One of the reasons we invited you to come on the program is to talk about the Bay Area Green Business Program, which the bank is a member of. Why is the bank a member of it, and how did that get started?
The genesis started back last year. We started a program about 4 years ago called the Oakland First Fund, which was to capture the essence of the Community Bank of the Bay, focus on community, where we have anybody that deposits money with us, checking account, savings account, certificate of deposit, into the Oakland First Fund. We guarantee that 100% of those monies are used for loans in Oakland.
Okay.
Not in Berkeley, not in San Leandro, not in Walnut Creek.
Not in Iowa.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yes.
not in Iowa.
No, so we jokingly say anybody in San Francisco is an overseas loan. So we try and focus on the Oakland community, and the Oakland First Fund was so successful, we said, why can't we carry that over into the environmental movement? And we started with the Green Fund to support a lot of these small businesses and a lot of the issues surrounding the environmental and sustainable community. So in order to make them more successful, they require loans and growth capital. We said, well, using our auspices as a bank and the FDIC insurance, we can create a fund similar to the Oakland First Fund and attract dollars that we can then recirculate right back into the local economy to support those endeavors.
Wow, so that's two for the price of one, the Oakland First Fund and the Bay Area Green Fund. And the bank itself is green in terms of recycling and...
Well, we are. We actively recycle. We have boxes set up at everybody's workstation. We recycle. They're not the most attractive, but it's effective. We recently purchased our building, and we are right now evaluating it to as we remodel. We bought it from a major bank, Union Bank.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the addition of solar panels on the roof, and as we remodel, using LEED certified architects to do the sustainable and the green process.
Now folks, this isn't the first time you've heard this on the show. Mike Hannigan did it with Give Something Back, solar panels on the roof. Seal Scandone and Don Simon have talked about the green movement. Why don't you ask about the green machine? I had heard that it, if I understand it correctly, I can deposit a check right from my office. Tell me a little bit more.
We kind of coined that phrase just to have something to call it, but the correct name is remote deposit capture. And it is, I think, the biggest transformation of banking in my 40 years outside of ATMs and possibly email. It allows the individual client, be it a small business or an individual,
Mm-hmm.
to make deposits directly from their office, their desk, wherever they are, and the check is scanned in. It's automatically deposited in your account, debited to your client's, whoever gave you the check, the client's account, and it's in your account within minutes of the transaction.
Wow.
You can then go online and view the transaction over the internet and see that through our online banking system to verify that the money was deposited. The paper check then is shredded by you. It's no longer necessary. The optical image is captured and will be on your statement and your client's statement.
Wow.
So-
That's something.
Well, it's a significant, this is one of the first major steps that the Federal Reserve Board has tried to make us into a paperless society, and
Mhm.
it is tremendously efficient to the small business. Driving to the bank, and of course we call it a green machine because your carbon footprint of making a deposit is non-existent. And you can make that deposit, and it's in the bank, and it's 24/7. 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Does this eliminate the 14-day hold then on funds because it's been taken from the client's account?
That's correct. Once you're approved for the remote capture, by the way, that's one of the big things between a community bank and a major bank. We don't use those holds to penalize our clients. If we know who you are and you come in, no holds necessary. We like to say no holds barred. But we focus on the client relationship, and the remote capture, I think, will totally transform banking as we know it today. I foresee the day when most small businesses will just deposit directly from their desktop.
Wow, that is something.
We will have, we're the second highest right now user of remote capture in Northern California. And we've got to be one of the smallest, but we jumped on this technology about a year ago, and we've seen just a tremendous acceptance in the community.
Makes sense. Final question for you, Brian. What really matters?
Relationship. We focus on who the client is and what their needs are, and not necessarily what kind of product we can sell.
And Susan, how about for you?
I think what matters to people is knowing that their money is going towards something that they believe in. So whether or not you are a business that feels, or just an individual who feels that you want to see the money you put in the bank go to your community, or whether or not you want to even streamline it more and say you want to go to an environmental cause, then you can do that with our bank, and you really can't do that with any other bank but ours.
Folks, I appreciated the conversation. We'll be right back.